Hey friends, Wagwan. In today's video, I'm sharing my experience of how I traveled around Jamaica, the island, by myself without a car. It's totally doable. Let's get started. Question number one, is Jamaica easy to move around? Well, for me, let me tell you how I did it. I was in Jamaica for my birthday and I was there for about 10 days. More or less, like a week and a half. And what I did, I flew into Montego Bay from Fort Lauderdale on Spirit Airlines. There are three airports in Jamaica. You have Sangster International Airport, which is Montego Bay, MBJ. You have Norman Manley, which is Kingston, KIN. So OCJ is Ian Fleming International Airport. That is Ocho Rios. There are three for you to choose from. Most people fly into Montego Bay. When I landed at Sangster, I had already arranged pickup with the owner of the hostel, Mobe Koch. Now, she wasn't exactly waiting outside for me. I did have to sit a little bit. She thought that I had some bags at the baggage claim. The point is, I had arranged for her to pick me up. So we went in her car from the airport to the hostel. When I left Mobe Koch, I had to take a shuttle. I went back to the airport because next I was going to get to Bahia Principe, Grand Jamaica. I needed to get to the resort. So on Viator, I had arranged for the one-way shuttle to get from Montego Bay, MBJ, all the way to Bahia. After a couple of days at the resort, I had met a family and I went with them from the resort all the way to Kingston. I just paid them for gas. It was a large group of us and we were it's like a passenger van and we went to Kingston. When I left Kingston, I took the Knutsford Express bus to Ocho Rios. This was about 17, 18 US dollars. I had Jamaican dollars because I had exchanged at the Cambio when I was in downtown Montego Bay. If this is confusing you, stay with me. I'm gonna break it down in a minute. Then when I left Ochi, which is Ocho Rios, I'm sure there's different names for the city, I ended up taking the mini bus. I don't know if they call this coaster vans or coaster buses. It is where you are sitting up, is very cramped. You're like this. And I mean, it's super cheap. It's like 100 Jamaican dollars. And I took that back to Montego Bay. And then from there, I had pickup arranged with the Airbnb host. They took me to and from the Airbnb, and from there they took me to the airport. So that was how I got around Jamaica, not counting the side trips like with taxis. Can tourists walk around Jamaica? These are questions that I pulled up that you guys are searching on Google, not you specifically. I am going to say the answer is yes. You want to definitely walk around. If you are in the tourist areas like the resorts, definitely at Bahia Principe, I walked all around the site. Even as a solo female Black woman, I was able to move around. I did enjoy a lot of the time at the beaches. I talked about this before. It's really good to get in those steps. You're outside. It's the beautiful nature. You have the beach in the background. I mean, it is absolutely fantastic. Where I would use caution is when I am in downtown Mobe, definitely downtown Kingston, and even Ocho Rios. But 9 times out of 10, you are going to be fine. I walked in all of those cities. As I told you, I was there for a while. I mean, in each city, I may have been there, 2 to 3 days. It wasn't long. And I'm used to walking. It's a great way to save money if you're trying to travel on a budget as well. So yes, you can walk around Jamaica. Just use caution if you are in Kingston and you have not traveled solo. I recommend that you watch this video here because I really do not want you to get into any situations. And if you're walking, you can ask a local. Sometimes, like I said, they will speak in the fast patois. They might tell you to go down the street and bust a left, bust a right, bust a left, bust another right. And you're just going to be like, what? You can ask them to slow down, or if you just see them pointing, you kind of just walk in that direction, and typically you're going to get to where you need to go. Don't worry. And if you are an advanced traveler, I do think you will be fine. Same for Mobe, same for Ocho Rios. Are there Ubers and taxis, ride shares in Jamaica? Let's go ahead and talk about the Uber situation. Since June of 2024, Uber has been banned in Jamaica. I don't know if they have let up on this You guys can let me know in the comments what the situation is with the Ubers specifically. As far as other ride shares, I'm not sure. I don't think there are Lyfts there. There might be different ones. I am going to have to get back to you on that unless you guys inform me. I think Uber is still banned. I am not sure. Taxis are going to be the most common and probably preferred way for you to get around the island. The taxis are going to be more pricier than the buses. Obviously, the JUTC, the yellow buses, is going to be even more pricey than the minibus. And what you need to do is learn to negotiate. You want to have your fare agreed upon before getting in the driver's vehicle. And if you're still unsure, just ask a local who's standing near what the typical fare is to get from point A to point B. It can be said that sometimes the Jamaican drivers will overcharge tourists. They're going to be speaking that fast patois, and you really don't want to get got. So I would just ask a local. Hopefully they're not hustling you either. But usually the taxi drivers, they're going to be fine. Now, you need to be mindful of the plates on the taxis. Red is what you want to look for. This means that the license plate, it is registered with the, hold on. It means it's registered with the Transport Authority. These are the official taxis that are operated by the Jamaican Union of Travelers Association. On here, it's saying to look for the red and white license plates with P or PPV that appear before the number, as indicated by the acronym on their vehicles. There's also the JCAL, the Jamaica Cooperative Automobile and Limousine Tours. They're saying many taxi meters are broken, so you want to agree on the price before accepting the ride. If you want to tip, that's up to you. Typically, you can do 10 to 15% more if you're traveling at night, but I'm not doing that. I'm a solo female traveler. You are going to be safe with them. This is going to be what you want to select. I have done the ones with the unlicensed, and I mean, it is going to be cheaper. It really is up to you and the driver, but your experience, it might not be as great. I know in Kingston and sometimes in Montego Bay, when I was right outside of Mobe Koch, after going to high-low, I had my things. You would just see the taxi drivers just kind of standing around. So I started negotiating from the jump. I was like, hey, I need to get here. How much is it? You know, we agreed on the price. You get in the car, in the back seat, you might see a lot of bottles. They've been drinking. The bottles are empty. So again, that's why I'm saying your experience might be more enhanced if you stick to the red plates. If you're feeling adventurous and you want to save some money, do the non-reds. All right. I don't want to be telling you to take the unlicensed taxis. I'm just sharing my experience. I don't want you to get in a unfortunate situation. The Knutsford Express provides transportation daily to the touristy parts of the island. The Knutsford Express is what you can use to take you between the cities. I told you this is how I got to Ocho Rios from Kingston. Now with this, you need to pay attention because you want to make sure that you purchase the correct destination when you're buying your ticket. You can go to knutsfordexpress.com and you're going to take it from Kingston to Drax Hall. Remember guys, you want to look for Drax Hall. All right, this is the stop for Ocho Rios. Once you get to Drax Hall, then you take another taxi. It's like 10-15 minutes and then you can get to Ocho Rios. But you're not going to see the words Ocho Rios when you're looking in the drop down selection. Okay, you need to scroll to, it says Kingston to Drax Hall. On the bus, you're going to get water, there's Wi-Fi, there's also areas for you to store your luggage. They're going to give you nice cold water. You decide which seat that you will be sitting on once you have your ticket purchased. So it is an enjoyable ride. I do recommend Knutsford Express. It should take about 105 minutes depending on traffic. As I said, the cost is going to be $17 to $18. I'll get to the currency in a little bit. The mini buses, the coaster buses, this is going to be one of the cheapest ways to get to and from the towns, but you are going to be cramped and it is going to take you longer because what the drivers like to do, they don't start moving until the entire van, the entire minibus is full. So if you are one of the first people that wants to go to a destination, you have to wait until other passengers come on board. And that can be a long wait. The faster it fills up, the faster you are going to leave. Not everybody just has that type of leisure time. This is what I realized when I was at the bus depot at Ocho Rios. However, they have great Jamaican food at the bus stops, y'all. They made me some rice and peas. I had some ackee. It was very filling. It was like for $4. But we'll talk more about that in the food video. It's really up to you, and I'm going to give you some tips on how you can manage. I would not do this if I had a lot of luggage. It's not for everyone, but I do think traveling like the locals, it is a great way for you to experience the country. And let's talk about the yellow buses. This is the Jamaican Urban Transit Company Unlimited. They have a fleet of 450 yellow buses. The fares start at about 65 cents. That's 100 Jamaican dollars. There is a ferry in Kingston. I don't know much information about this. Mostly locals are the ones who use this mode of transportation. A couple of websites that I want to mention are going to be the Knutsford Express. That's knutsfordexpress.com. Also, there's ararides.com if you are looking to rent a car. There is also realjamaica.org. All of these are sources from where I got my information. And also, if you are looking to purchase the Knutsford Express ticket, you can go to knutsfordexpress.com. Another website I failed to mention was ta.org. Tips for riding around in Jamaica. You want to pack light, you guys. I am team carry-on. It really made it easier for me when I did not have a lot of items. Even when I was cramped on the minibus, I did have everything in my lap. It was very uncomfortable, but I mean, I got to Montego Bay from Ocho Rios for like $5. Like, you can't beat that price. It is a great way for budget travelers, backpackers to move around. You cannot do that if you have multiple sets of luggage. It's very, I'm not going to say selfish, but you are going to hog up the back of the van, even if you are on the Knutsford Express. With them, I don't know how many bags you are able to take on before they charge you additional. But I was packing light. So, I mean, I love having everything with me. I don't know what it's like to lose items unless I just left a purse or a bag behind me being careless, or absent-minded. You want to have your things with you. Pack light if you can. Also, it is wise for you to use Jamaican dollars. When it comes to transport, I would say cash is king. I mentioned how I was already in town. I was in Montego Bay and I had the Jamaican dollars, which made it easier. In fact, I'm going to say you must pay in Jamaican dollars if you are going to do the minibus, if you're trying to, do the JUTC yellow buses. The exchange rate for 150 Jamaican dollars, that's going to be $1. You can keep that in mind. I know a lot of tourists, if they're coming off of the cruise ship, I don't know if they would be using the transportation like this, so they can walk around at the touristy areas with their USD, and that's fine. I am talking about if you're not on a cruise, you are in Jamaica for real, and you're moving around. Cash is king. You want to get those Jamaican dollars. Do I need a car? Well, it is up to you. I necessarily wouldn't recommend it. Remember, they drive on the left side of the road here. Sometimes the road signs can be unhelpful. The drivers are moving fast. They're used to driving on the left side of the road. There can be potholes. So I would just proceed with caution. If you choose to do that, I do believe that you can get around the island in about 14 to 16 hours. It'd be about 400 miles. And as I said, if you are interested in looking into renting a car, you can look up ararides.com. Rental chains that they recommend, I just gave you the site, but they have Hertz, there's Budget, there's also Island Car Rentals. If you're going to rent, you want to get that reliable service by renting from the city that you flew into. I would have done it at Montego Bay because that's where I flew into. If you don't have a valid international driver's license, your U.S. license is valid for up to 3 months per visit. When visiting a country, I believe that it is important for you to try the public transport. Why not try to travel like the locals? Real quick, I'm pretty sure we're at 700 subs by the time you watch this video. So thank you so much. I am glad that the Jamaicans brought me to this point. I was at 600 a few months ago when I did the Haiti series. So reaching 700 with you all makes it really awesome. And I want to shout out to Publix. Oh, look at these. They just smell so amazing. They should be in my background, but I wasn't feeling like it. And it really just brightens up my space while I'm recording. They gave this to me for my 1 year anniversary being a rewards member. Maybe I'll do a Publix video. I got some things cooking. Let me cook. Let me cook. If you want to know more about my solo travels around the globe, go ahead and click on this video. Thanks for watching. I'm going to see you soon. Whoa, we at 700. Okay.